Peter Obi did not plan to run for president. If he did plan to run for president, he would not be free-wheeling through endless tunnels of gaffes and incoherent ideas. But really, he did not plan to run for president. An accident happened. Peter Obi's presidential bid is a freak of politics, an idea contrived for performance and political quota. His bid is perhaps only relevant for regional affirmation and for intimidation of anger by a section of the youth. Hmm. In 2019, Peter Obi lobbied to be the running mate of Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Okay, although Atiku preferred choosing a running mate from other zones in the south, the wave of agitations at the time worked in Obi's favor. It was reasoned that Obi, being from the southeast where the agitation for secession was at its apogee, at the time, a block vote was guaranteed for Atiku. Peter Obi becoming the running mate of Atiku in 2019 was an afterthought of political controversies. In the build-up to the PDP presidential primary election in 2022, it was clear Atiku would be picked as the standard-bearer of the party. It was also certain that Peter Obi would not be the vice presidential candidate of the PDP. He had run out of utility as a political pawn. Atiku, knowing that his candidature goes against the Skedota principle of zoning and coupled with the smearing opposition by Nyesom Wike, governor of Rivers State, picked Ifeanyi Okowa, governor of Delta State, as his running mate. Prior to the PDP primary, some Southeast leaders who presumably were lobbying on behalf of Peter Obi had asked that he be selected as vice presidential candidate, but Atiku did not see any strong political points of value to pick Peter Obi again. You not think Okowa is now stronger? He had chosen him in 2019 but lost the election. Some northern leaders in the PDP were also uncomfortable with Peter Obi as vice presidential candidate for what they perceived to be a strong ethnic leaning. The thinking was that the northern electorate will not be welcoming of his candidature. So Atiku wanted someone who could appeal to the voting public in the north and in the south. In his estimation, Okowa fit the bill. Okowa was the preferred of PDP leaders from the north. Former President Goodluck Jonathan lobbied for the governor of Delta State vigorously as well. It was obvious to Peter Obi that he had been consigned to irrelevance in the PDP, disgruntled and egged by associates. He left the PDP for the Labour Party. Peter Obi's presidential bid was then born. Obi's bid was not out of compulsion to fix Nigeria or to make any change to the country. It was just response to the scheming in the PDP. It was schemed out by the loop by a party notable for treasury. Peter Obi never planned, designed, or imagined running for president. His presidential bid is a hoax and a ploy to get back at those in the PDP who declared him a political liability. Running for president takes intention. It takes years of planning, building a network of people and structures. It is not a happenstance or what you decide on a protest against the scheming in your party. The Labour Party presidential campaign council list, for example, shows a vacancy of spread and preparation. It is the reason the arguments on equity as regards power shift to the southeast is untenable. There was no prior preparation to this moment. Bridges were broken by vicious ethnic propaganda and the groundwork for zonal and regional socio-political intercourse was absent. It is farcical to seek to cosmetically forge alliances with the game is already on. When the game is already on, and attempts at that will be dismissed as deceptive. Peter Obi is not nothing or running for president to win. He only wants to make a trenchant statement and perhaps build a following to secure political valueship. If he was really running to win, he would show some seriousness. This Frederick, you get allow. There's no gravitas on the part of Peter Obi. If there was, where is his manifesto? Where is his plan for Nigeria beyond ad-lib figures and unseasoned ideas. Peter Obi was asked how he would address insecurity if he became president in an interview on Arise TV on Monday. His response was destitute of meaning and deep intellectual chasm. He said, even with a gun on my head, I can't even give you details of what I'm going to do in the issue of insecurity, but I'm going to be commander-in-chief. I will deal with it decisively. I can tell you how I cannot tell you how I'm going to deal with it, because if I tell you, then it won't work. The point is, any candidate who fails to present a plan or manifesto has no plan and did not plan to have a plan, but only riding on the tide of anger, noise, and passion. And this is coming from Frederick Nwabufo. Nwabufo, aka Mr. One Nigeria, is a writer and journalist. My people, sure I don't hear this guy. He has been writing against Peter Obi. He was the one that said, oh, Tinubu's security plan manifesto is on point. You are saying if Obi did not go to that place, why is it that the Tinubu you are supporting? Because from all indications, we can see the handwriting. You cannot write that. Why is this man the background and a lot of things people have been saying about him? So you just thought that, or thought that Obi just wake up from wherever he's coming from to say I want to run for president because he wanted to show who. But at the end of the day, all of you are disappointed because you never expected the kind of acceptance is getting. E be like say this guy no get house for southeast o. Go ask Joe Igbokwe wetin obedience take im eye see run for una life. I now know no dey o. I no know no dey o. Okay. If he provoke Obi supporters response to this one with the manner, they would be termed as insulting. Big lie. Why talk about lack of ideas when he was presidential aspirant under PDP, touring the entire state, speaking of his economic growth for Nigeria? Writer, be ready to refund the money paid to you for this job. Nwabufo is showing his intellectual nakedness. Peter Obi bought PDP presidential form and you said he is not ready to be president. How can someone who use his 100 million naira to purchase PDP form not ready for what he went for? Who is this nuisance? His name na Frederico. You ended up countering and confusing yourself about Peter Obi's intention to contest for president of Nigeria. You said Obi wasn't ready to contest for president but was positioning himself for the position of vice presidential candidate. In 2019, out of 11 million votes scored, Peter Obi pulled 8 million votes from South, while Atiku scored 3 million votes in the North. As you said, Peter Obi didn't prepare for president, but he obtained 40 million naira PDP presidential forms. Peter Obi and Labour Party will take over the presidency of Nigeria come 2023. PDP and APC are two fingers of a leprosy infected hand. Nigeria youth must take back Nigeria from the old and corrupt politicians. Frederick, are you done? If you are, go and sleep. We are serious in Nigeria now. Nigeria of today is not for a lazy person like you. Go and sleep. You will be woken up by the celebration news of Mr. Peter Obi. God Almighty will give Nigeria a leader. When David was on his way to becoming king, none of his brothers gave him a chance, but God did anoint him. At this junction in Nigeria, we need divine intervention, not professional politicians. So guys, leave your comments down there below and let's have your tea.